Alright, in this video I'm going to teach you how to make a wall pocket. So I have cut a smaller paper template in yellow, and I have rolled out my slab for my paper template, and this is going to be the back of my wall pocket. So right here, back of the wall pocket is the same size as my paper template. I'm going to set that aside for now. Next, I'm going to figure out where on my paper template I want my pocket to come up. So let's say I want my pocket to come, about 3/4 of the way up. I'm just going to fold my paper template over where that's going to be. Okay. Now I know that I need to have a pocket that is at least this big. I would cut it a little bit larger if you can, because you're going to be, I think I have room to do it. You're going to be, you need a slightly larger because you need to be able to put some paper towel in between and stretch it over. So I'm going to cut this out, and I'm going to cut the same height here. And then I'm going to take my width, and I'm just going to go out a little bit on all of my sides. Now ideally you'd have a larger slab. If this were my project here, I would have done a larger slab. And you just want the same width on all sides. You're going to be manipulating the slab a little bit. So it doesn't have to be 100% perfect, but you want it to be all the same width, and then a little bit bigger. There we go. A little bit bigger width-wise than your slab. So now you're going to take your original clay slab, and you're going to line up the bottom here. And you're going to line up the bottom of your pocket with the bottom of your clay slab. And it's possible, if you want it to be a slightly thinner slab and you need to increase like how big it is, you can roll it out just a little bit. Your pocket part can be thinner than your clay slab. So I'm going to roll it just a little thinner so it can be stretched a little bit easier. It doesn't have to be as rigid. All right, so I've got my pocket here, and I know how high I need it to go, but I can measure just to be sure. I'm going to line up the bottom again. Now I know my pocket's coming up to here. If that's too high, and I kind of think it is, I'm going to trim it just a little. I don't want to trim my slab. Just going to give it a little haircut. There we go. Stick it back on. Much better. And I'm just going to mark with my needle tool or your paper clip where that comes down to. Okay, so I have my lines here. And now I'm going to be doing some slipping and scoring. So I'm going to score the whole area here because your clay pocket is going to join along these sides here. So I'm going to score this. And then I'm going to take my clay slab, and I'm going to make sure that the inside is smooth. Get rid of fill the cracks here. I want the inside to be nice and smooth. Because it'll be hard to get in there once I'm done. All right, so then I'm going to score the edges of my inside. Now I'm going to add a little bit of water for my slip. I want it to seal really well. I'm adding water to both sides. If I feel like once I've slipped it's not quite enough, I can score a little more. Really give it something to grab onto. Now I'm ready to put my pocket on. So I'm going to take some wadded up paper towel here, and I'm going to use this kind of as a guide. I'm going to take my clay slab. I'm going to have it meet up with the edges. It's okay to have a little bit hanging over, and I feel like my paper towel is just a little too much. You want to make sure that you get a really good seal on both sides. So you want to make sure that where you slipped and scored matches up. If it overlaps on the outside, you can always trim that. So I'm pushing together my sides here. I want to really seal them together. So this is kind of the rough part of it. And I've pressed my corners here. I can feel and see the slip coming out on the outside. And I can adjust my paper towel if I need to. I think I'm going to. I'm going to make it just a little bit thinner so that it fills down below a little more. And now I'm going to just cut around to get my beautiful clean shape back. And you're going to want to leave your pocket with the paper towel until it is pretty solidified. So if you do this to your pocket and it's not moving, and you don't have to put any pressure, you're just kind of testing it out. If it's not moving, that means you can take the paper towel out. If you are building on it and doing some work that way, I would take the paper towel out when it's drying and put the paper towel right back in as you are working on it. So anytime you're applying pressure to it, you're going to want to remove the paper towel or put the paper towel in and keep it kind of structured for that time. So I'm just sort of trimming the sides, and I'm trimming kind of any of the extra clay off. There we go. There's a little more defining that you can do, but this is essentially what it should look like. And you'll do some cleaning up and everything once it's finished. You'll do some cleaning up once it's a little more dry. But for right now, it just needs to sit and get used to being in this shape. And there's a wall pocket.